Joe here. Thanks for visiting Road Trip Joe, and thank you for being my patron. Speaking of patrons, I've only got a couple more to go and I'll have reached my initial goal. So if you have any family, friends, neighbors, somebody you meet on the street, tell them about roadtripjoe.com. Tell them come on board and watch some videos with us. Now, I've always been a little curious, kind of perplexed recently, as to why somebody believes something that's totally contrary to what the facts are. You see it every day when you turn on the news. There are opinions, of course, and then there's the facts, which are two totally different things. Now, I'm not immune to this little phenomenon, far from it, actually. Take Santa Claus, for instance. He's real to me, and always has been, just like Jack Frost and Peter Pan. The Easter Bunny, I'm not so sure about that guy. But why is Santa real to me? Because I want him to be real. And I'm starting to think that's why some people believe something in spite of the facts that are presented to them. If you want something to be true, then, well, it is. And you only have to change the facts in your mind. So in some ways, we have things backwards. Our belief in something is sometimes based on our opinions and not necessarily on facts, when it should be the other way around. Now, opinions are usually developed based on social influences like our family and friends. At least that's what the experts say. But while we are all entitled to our opinions, of course, we are not entitled to changing the facts. And that has led me to my confusion on this subject. How can we, and I include myself, how can we ignore the facts? Or rather, why do we ignore the facts? I don't have an answer for this, but of course I do have a theory. And much of that theory comes from what we learned when we were growing up. At least what I was taught growing up. And I have come to the realization that just because someone says something or writes something doesn't make it true. So we might not have gotten the facts right to begin with. Don't believe me? Well, let's take a test, shall we? We'll start out with some easy ones. Which of the following is true? Lobsters don't grow old and die. This is true. In fact, as far as scientists can tell, they only die of external causes, but that's only if you believe the science. Saturn's rings are only between 30 and 300 feet thick. This is also true, which is hard to believe, thinking that this planet is millions of miles from us and we can see these rings, and they're only 30 feet thick? Really? Honey does not spoil. This is true. You could feasibly eat 5,000-year-old honey. Alright, here's one for you. Hunting unicorns is legal in Michigan. Okay, there's no such thing as a unicorn, right? So why does Michigan have a law in the books that says it's okay to go out and shoot one? The CDC, or the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, has a website for zombie preparedness. Hard to believe, but true. And they even have a blog if you want to get some updated information. Go check it out. Yes, all of these are true. But your mind probably thought, no, that can't be true. Lobsters have to die of old age at some point, right? Well, maybe not. The mind is a wonderful thing to change from time to time. Okay, let's try that again. It's harmful to pick up baby birds that have fallen and put them back in their nests because the parents will abandon them. Nope, that's wrong. You can pick them up and put them right back in there. It's not a problem. Your blood is blue when it's in your body and becomes red when exposed to oxygen. Nope, it's red the whole time. Different areas of your tongue detect different taste. Nope, doesn't matter where you put that salt and you're still going to taste it. True or false? Chameleons change color to blend in with their surroundings. Nope, they change their color based on their mood. The forbidden fruit referred to in the Bible that Eve gave to Adam was an apple. Nope, not true, which leads me to believe just what else in that book might not be on the up and up. The fruit Eve gave to Adam was from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So I wonder if you could have made a pie out of that. Here's another one. Napoleon was short of stature. Nope, he was average height for that time, which for a male was about 5 foot 7 inches. Okay, here's one that I heard my whole life. Eating less than an hour or even 30 minutes before swimming can lead to cramps and possible drowning. Nope, that's not true. Although that's what I always heard, and they used to have that sign up that said that too. Alright, humans evolved from apes. No, that is not true. We share a common ancestor and split off into our own branch around 13 million years ago. We did not evolve from apes. Okay, George Washington had wooden teeth. No, not true. They were a mixture of ivory, someone else's teeth, or some kind of metal contraption. He had a funny smile for sure. This one. Your hair and nails continue to grow after you die. Nope, your skin recedes and makes it look that way. Ew. Here's one that we've all heard. You can see the Great Wall of China from space. No, that is total nonsense. You cannot see the Great Wall of China from space. Alright, this one a lot of you guys might miss. Coffee is made from beans. No, those aren't coffee beans. Those are coffee plant seeds. Those are seeds, not beans. Here's one that I think I knew, but I wasn't so sure about. Dogs sweat through their mouth when panting. No, they actually sweat through their paws. The panting just cools them down. Alright, a flush toilet rotates in the other direction in the southern hemisphere. No, that is totally not true, and I checked that out when I went to South America and to Australia. Alright, Einstein failed math in school. Nope, he did just fine, but he did flunk an entrance exam for a college, although he passed the math part but failed the botany and zoology. Alright, here's one. We have 5 senses. No, it's more like 21 senses. Alright, here's my favorite. Alcohol kills brain cells. Nope, just damages them. Whew, that's a relief. Alright, bananas grow on trees. Nope, those are banana plants. Those are not trees. Blind as a bat. Nope, bats see just fine. Okay, the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock, right? It's in all the textbooks. No, they actually landed in Provincetown. And more than a month before they landed at Plymouth, which they did make their home eventually. Alright, last one. Ben Franklin wanted a turkey as our national symbol. We all heard that sitting around the Thanksgiving table, right? Actually, Ben Franklin sat on a committee that was designing the newly created Great Seal of this new country, and there was no discussion of what should be the country's national bird. On the seal, he wanted Moses. Yes, that Moses, extending his hand over the Red Sea towards a really pissed off Pharaoh. That's correct. Ben Franklin wanted the parting of the Red Sea on the seal of the United States. The committee said they would put that on the back of the seal, but that never happened either. Instead, there's some pyramid on there with a big eye. Maybe that's a turkey eye. Okay, I know these aren't really earth-shattering myths that I just corrected for you, but I bet there's still a few of you who still don't believe you shouldn't eat before jumping into the pool. And that's okay. We should all eat a little less, I think. But I learned most of this in school or at home, and I bet you did too. So maybe it's time we need to relearn what we have learned. Why is it that some people, me included I'm afraid, tend to believe what they hear or read? Like I said, if you want something to be true, then, well, it is. So we all kind of stay in our own tribe to feel safe and watch the same news channels. Now, if everyone had their facts straight and we all believed the same things, then life would be pretty boring, right? I mean, really dull if you ask me. There's nothing better than a good, healthy, and friendly discussion with someone when they have an opposing view. To me, that's how we learn sometimes. But it can also be an eye-opener when one of us don't really have our facts straight. That includes me too, I'm afraid. And while I like to think I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong, there have been times I haven't. Obviously, politics and religion get the most attention these days because it's more about opinions than facts. And while this isn't anything new, they used to have fistfights on the floor of the House of Representatives and in the Senate, we have become pretty polarized in this country. And you can turn on any cable news channel and listen to the pundits to get your information, but you know what? Many of them don't have their facts right either. I'm sorry, but that's true. And I'm not here to talk about politics or religion. I'm kind of sick of it, actually. But I am curious as to why we believe what we do when the facts don't support our beliefs. For me, it's probably a combination of what I learned growing up, along with social influences from my tribe. Maybe the best example as to what influences us would be the reviews you might read about a product, or a movie, or a place you're planning on visiting, like a restaurant. We all read reviews, right? Well, there's a restaurant in downtown Las Vegas that I go to most every time I'm there. A place where I've never had bad service or a bad meal, and I have eaten there many times. Well, this person visited and wrote this review. Skippity said, "I can certainly ignore rude bartenders, especially if the food and drinks are awesome, but not the case here. The bartender acted like she didn't want to be at work, and the food was mediocre at best." Now, while there aren't many bad reviews of this place, most of them are glowing actually. If I had read this one before I went there the first time, well, I might not have gone. One bad review usually does it for some people. But the Triple George Grill, a block off of Fremont Street, is hands down the best place to eat in downtown Las Vegas. Oscar's would be second, of course. But only 15 out of 1,000 people actually write reviews. That's less than 1%, and that's where we're getting our information from. Now, I don't write reviews ever, but if I had to guess, I would say that these 15 people who do write reviews are usually not happy campers anyway. And I should point out that there are 985 people who never voiced an opinion. In other words, angry customers are usually angry people, and that's who sometimes influence our decisions and opinions. It's hard to believe, but 84% of people out there believe these kinds of reviews more than what their friends tell them. So maybe we shouldn't read reviews and just form our own opinions, right? Okay, last one, and most of you should get this one right. Do you pronounce the capital of Kentucky Louisville or Louisville? Nope, it's Frankfort, and it's been the capital of Kentucky since 1871. I think. Better look it up, I guess. Now, if you're stressed out about what's going on in the world today, then maybe a little advice from our old friend Yoda might help. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, and anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. And we all know what happens to us when we go to the dark side. So take a deep breath, don't be afraid of changing your mind from time to time. And let's all stay in the light, shall we? May the Force be with you. That really is all I got. Joe here. I'm here with Mr.
It's not going to be swiping. It's all going to be on a card.
Okay. Mr. Fly Fisher.
Yes.
Rick just wrote me. He wanted to know how you did on your last expedition.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you, the water was so high you could surf the river. I couldn't even get to my fishing spots. That's how fast that water was running.
And where'd you go?
And I was at the Kings River, at Lower Kings River, below Pine Flat, and I was the only guy out there. It was embarrassing. I just left. Everybody else probably read the report and never showed up.
And how hot was it?
It was 105 degrees.
Fish don't bite when it's 105.